Where does real confidence come from? In my experience, real confidence comes from both competence and faith. Let me explain. So, in my experience, confidence tends to be kind of more of a quiet confidence, just like an inner knowing, as opposed to some of the more boastful, trappings, apparent trappings, I should say, of confidence that people might demonstrate, which I think is actually just compensation for low confidence. Like, if you're very confident, you don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to let the whole world show it. You just need to follow your own inner guidance and let it show the results. Like, I'm thinking about like the stock market and the crypto market. There's so much psychology and patterns, pump and dump, and the really successful, the smart money always takes the dumb money. I don't know if dumb money is the right word, but people that are fearful, the big money, the smart money, just makes people fearful. Like it hypes things up so people buy like crazy, and then it crashes at 40, 60, 80, sometimes 90%. People are like, oh my gosh, I made the wrong decision, and they bail. If it has good fundamentals, after they bail, then the people scoop in. It's the same thing, with the crises. Like they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. Like in the housing market, people have privileged or advanced information, like all the people that bet up against the housing market because they saw that it was going to crash and it was in a bubble. Anytime people have like more competence, they understand what's happening that other people don't. Like they understand the patterns, they see the patterns, they understand the patterns. It doesn't mean that people aren't fallible. Everybody's fallible because there's always an unknown element. But the more you understand, that's why I invest a lot in information systems, pattern systems, and I spend a lot of effort and study on self-awareness, because it's human nature. Like Elon Musk says, the number one thing in life is wishful thinking. We tend to delude ourselves because we want what we... And I think there's also a psychological rigor that goes into it. Like a lot of people just accept, things that they see on the surface. Like they'll read an article from an influencer on a stock tip and they'll buy that stock. Or they'll read a press release. They don't realize that these things are many layers deep, and you have to really dig and dig and dig and dig and study and be patient before you really... That's why I don't think life is a complete meritocracy, because bad things do happen to good people, but it does have a degree of meritocracy, because the people that have the most psychological control, the better informational systems, the most competence to really understand things, the most self-awareness, those people usually rise to the top, because they don't let people take advantage of them in relationships. They don't let businesses take advantage of them, because they understand what's going on and they're sophisticated and they're in control of their emotions. Like, I think in the Bible it says something like, one who can control their emotions is more powerful than an entire city. So people that, understand what's going on in these pump and dumps, they just let it ride out. They don't like panic when things are down 80% if they know it has good fundamentals. If anything, they get excited because they're like, everybody else is panicking. Now, if a thing doesn't have good fundamentals, or if it's subject to disruption, a lot of the S&P and the big companies are being disrupted, and I've gone into a lot of podcasts about this. I mean, one is because of all the exponential technologies that are coming together that are disrupting every field, like AI, blockchain, nanotechnology, robotics. Those are disruptive forces. But also because some companies have thought very short term. They haven't made the investments and the innovation to keep up. So it looks like they're doing better in the short term because they're very short term focused. But then when these big waves of innovation hit them, they've been doing a lot of stock buybacks. Like a lot of CEOs, I don't know about a lot, but at least some CEOs have been like just maximizing the returns for their own tenure so that the stock goes up a lot over the short term. Those companies, most of them are going to get crushed because they, it's like in today's world, it's innovate or die. So, if you're confident, it's because you understand patterns and things that are going on, so the world makes more sense. People where the world just seems chaotic and you don't understand what's going on, then they have to compensate with false senses of confidence instead.